Hello, welcome back to the She Can Share podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about the schedule that I have created as a work from home mom. So, currently, my kids are at home with me. There are 2 weeks left of summer vacation, and this summer, they have obviously been on break while I've continued to work. And I did attempt to homeschool this summer. I won't get into that totally, but I just wanted to kind of share some things that have been really helpful for me as I have continued to work my business, grow my business, while also being a mom. My kids are 5 and 7. Oh, my daughter just turned 7 last week. My kids are 5 and 7. And when I was working a full-time job, all I wanted was to be able to be at home with my kids and see them more. And I'm so grateful and honored that God opened that door for me to be able to do that. But also, I discovered pretty quickly that when I started working from home with my children, I was like, oh, wow, this is hard. This is hard because for moms, right? We want to be fully present with our children. And I think already just being a mom, that is a struggle in and of itself with all the distractions that are available to us right now. But then when you're working, you obviously want to be productive and get things done, but kind of splitting that time with your children and knowing how to do it well can be a challenge. And so in today's episode, guys, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, it's 2 weeks left of summer break. My kids right now are at home with me. I am literally doing what I'm going to share with you today. I'm in the trenches with you. Understand what it's like to wake up early, stay up late, squeeze in hours of work while hitting the playground, right? So I want to just share that for any woman that maybe is also working from home, has children, maybe school hasn't started yet, or you are deciding to homeschool this year, kind of what's worked for me and hopefully give you some advice. Not yet, buddy. I'll chat to you in a minute. Mommy's on a podcast, okay?
Mom, you'll just say Winston, I'm calling to
Yep,
wake
I
up
will.
when you're about
Yes,
to.
I will. See what I mean? This is real life. I have to say, there's a podcast that I listen to that is so unedited. And the woman that does it, her name's Jamie Cross. And I just love her. I'll honestly put her show in the show notes, but there's episodes where you can hear her kids in the background. She's driving in the car. And to me, I just have to say, if you are looking for an overly produced, overly edited show currently, that's not my jam, because I feel like having this authentic, real, raw, unedited show just to me feels more relatable. So that was my son. He wants to speak with one of my clients later today. So he's just asking after her. Anyway, before we dig into it, I want to pray. I want to pray for you. I want to just pray God's goodness over you. So wherever you're at, wherever you're tuning in, I just pray that this prayer will really minister to you and touch your heart. So God, I just thank you so much for the person tuning in right now. God, I thank you for where they're at. I thank you for their business. Thank you for their ministry, for their mission, whatever it is, God, that you've given to them. I just ask, God, that you would truly take their 5 loaves and 2 fish and you would multiply it, God, and that you would do exceedingly and abundantly more than all they could ask, think, or imagine, even in the days where their kids are little, when they've got a lot going on, when they feel overwhelmed, when they feel busy. God, would you take the time that they do have and would you just maximize it? And I just pray your blessing over them and your peace over them in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so first, I'm going to just give you my work from home schedule. And as I'm talking through it, I'm going to share with you some little tips and tricks that I've used in that schedule that I found to be so helpful. So I usually wake up between 5 and 6 a.m. And that just kind of depends on what time I fall asleep. If me and my husband stay up a little bit later, sometimes I might sleep in a little bit, right? But I do try to wake up around 5. And this time is so important. I wake up before my children. I wake up when it's dark so that I can get a little bit of movement in. And when I say a little bit of movement, I really do mean 15 minutes to a half an hour of stretching, of weightlifting, of getting on my exercise bike downstairs. And oftentimes while I'm doing that, I'm listening to worship music or praying or listening to a podcast, something that's going to like fuel my soul. And this time is so important. If I don't have this time and just getting into my day, it's just not the best. But being able to like set that time aside to have with God, and also just like, take care of yourself, to me is just so important. So I do that. And then I usually come upstairs and I might journal for a bit, or I might get some stuff done, like do the dishes, like just whatever needs to get done. Then usually around 7, my kids are waking up. And that's when like 7 and 8, getting my kids ready. I'm doing breakfast. I'm getting myself ready. And I want to take a second to talk about this time. Okay. Because during this time, I used to do everything for my children. And obviously, depending on the age of your kids, you might have to. But my husband and I have worked on delegating things to our children so that they can do it themselves. So instead of me making breakfast for them, I'm like, okay, you can do this. Have there been spills? Yes, there have been spills. Have food fallen on the floor and things have not been cleaned up? Yes. But most often we are trying to delegate things to our kids so that they can be competent. That looks beautiful, honey. That's a beautiful picture. You can put it on the kitchen counter, okay? Okay.
By your office right there.
Yes, honey. See, they're painting. Okay. So that is something that we do. And what this does is it gives you the freedom to be able to go and get yourself ready, and while also empowering your children and giving them the ability and the confidence to have some responsibility. So my daughter, obviously I just said she's 7. We have her do the dishwasher, and my son, he feeds the dog as well. And I have them do what's called the 5 B's. Okay. So the 5 B's are, number 1. That is so awesome, buddy. Go put it on the counter.
Okay, but can I hang this in my arts and crafts room?
Yep.
For Dad to like, and can I do my other one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 B's. The 5 B's are: B number 1, be dressed. Number 2, brush your teeth. Number 3, brush your hair. Number 4, breakfast. And number 5 is backpack. So before my kids can watch a show, before they can do anything else, they need to take care of the 5 B's. Once they have their 5 B's done, they can then watch a show or do something that they like to do. So for instance, today it's painting, right, buddy? Are you painting?
Yeah, I'm doing my other one right now. This is my last one.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang this one up in my room and then the other one in our craft.
So as soon as they get those 5 B's done, then they can move on to doing something that they like to do. And what this does is it just helps them be responsible and also get the things in that they need to get done, right? Brush their teeth, brush their hair, be dressed, make their bed, have their backpack ready if they're going to school. So I've implemented that and it's been super successful. The next thing that we do is they do an activity. Like I said, right now they are painting. Normally, once they get to school, they would be at school, and then mommy does work and they go to school. But this summer, I've given them an activity and they'll do that for an hour. And then after that, I give them a snack. And during this time, we have snack time. And for their snack, I incorporate a fruit and a grain, or a vegetable and a grain.
Or a vegetable and a fruit.
A vegetable and a fruit. Yep. And I always say this: you don't have to eat it, but it's going on your plate. And you know what, guys? My kids are not picky eaters because I've implemented that since they were little. And I try and give them that like balanced diet. Now I will say, guys, am I, the crunchiest of all moms? No, but I do try to give them a good balanced diet. So we do snack time. After snack time, it's like something physical, like go outside, right? And I literally am like, just get out, go outside, go play, go do something. And if my kids are like, I'm bored. We have nothing to do. I'm like, okay, perfect. You want to know what boredom creates? Creativity. Go get creative. But getting them outside, and whether sometimes I will flip these two things in between snack time. Maybe we'll go for a walk or we'll go to the park first and then do an activity, or we flip flop it. But in the morning, I try to get them outside because it's so important. Kids need to be outside. They need to get their hands dirty. They need to be in the fresh air. So we do that. And during that time, I'm able to get some work done. Like, for instance, right now, even though they've interrupted me a couple times, I'm doing a podcast. And then I have work calls later. So after that, then we do lunch and we sit together, we have lunch. If I have a call or something I need to get done, I try to do it with them so that they are, they're seeing me and they're with me. And then in the afternoon, we still do quiet time. So my son still naps sometimes, but regardless, I have them have an hour of time by themselves. The reason why I love this is because, number one, again, it gives any mom, like even before I was working, it was nap time or quiet time. It gives that mom time. We need a break. And that's no shame. But also your kids need a break. Even though they have high energy and they want to go, 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 making sure that they have a time to have a break and slow down, I think is just so important. So we still do an hour of quiet time. And this has been so helpful. I have gotten them a clock and I will say, hey, when this hand gets to this hand, you can come out. But during that time, you're to stay in your room. You can, right? You can color, you can draw, you can read books, you can play with toys, but it's quiet time. And I've also oftentimes during this time, like given them scriptures, if they want to try to memorize or look at, and, just adding that in the day. And then usually after quiet time, because I've started work early, I'm usually maybe an hour left of work or I'm done. And then I'm with my kids and my family the rest of the day. We're playing, we're cooking dinner together, we're hanging out, we're doing stuff, but really trying to be like, give them things to do so that they are occupied. I can get my work done, but then still staying consistent with spending time with them, making sure that I'm sticking to a schedule, making sure that they know when mommy's available, when mommy's not. Again, obviously on this podcast, they've interrupted a couple times, but they're children and I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with that. You're going to have to be okay with that. If we wait until life is perfect to start going after the things that God's put in our heart to do, we're going to be waiting a very long time. Conditions aren't always going to be perfect. The circumstances that are in our life are not always going to be perfect. And we just have to decide if we're going to still just show up or if we're just going to let the distractions or the circumstances that are around us at that time hold us back from starting. I have to be honest with you. I started this episode like 5 times and just stopped it because I was being interrupted. And then I just had to think, you know what? This is my life. This is me on August 15, 2023 with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old trying to make it work. And so I hope that any other mom listening to this or somebody else that's in this season can think, yeah, it's okay because I'm showing up too. Imperfect, maybe not totally fully edited and polished, but I think that makes content more relatable. I think it makes you more trustworthy as a person and helps people to really just relate and connect with you. So that is my schedule as a work from home mom. When my kids are not in school. Obviously, when they are in school, I go and pick them up and it's a bit cleaner. But if ever I were to, do homeschooling, this is very similar to what it would look like. But I think the role as a mom in your home is so important. And I never, ever, like my work comes second to that, always. And being able to be a mom, like I do what I do so that I can be with my children. I do what I do so I can support my husband. I do what I do so that I can be a positive influence in my home. So I would never want this to overtake that. And so I just want to encourage you, any mom that's working from home, feeling like I'm not getting my work done and I need to be with my kids. Honestly, there are some days where it's like, just set it down. The other night, I knew I could get some extra work done, but I snuggled with my kids in their bed and I just laid there. I literally just laid there. They'd all fallen asleep and I just thought, this time is so short. It's so limited. You know, work's always going to be there. Not to say don't get your work done, not to say be lazy, but like, I know I'm going to look back on these days when my kids were painting, probably making a big mess in there, you know, me trying to make it work, and I'm going to miss it. And so for moms, it's so easy to despise these times and these days because it is messy. But I just really, really, really want to encourage you to embrace it. Embrace it. It's so amazing. Your kids do not limit your life. They actually expand it and they multiply it. Your kids are not a hindrance to you. They're an expansion and extension of you. And so I just, in the messiness of today, me showing up and trying to just be here, I just really want to encourage you with that today. So tune in next week for another episode on this podcast. But just a shout out to all my work from home moms. You're amazing and you're doing it. Your kids are awesome. You're a good mom. Keep showing up and keep giving your best because it matters and you matter. Have a great day.